Magolor's epilogue. Where to start? Well, let's start off with the story. So after the events of Kirby's return to Dreamland, Magolor ends up in this really weird place, losing all of his abilities. So it's up to you to gain all your abilities back. The story in this mode is pretty non-existent, which is fine. You're probably only going to really play it just for the gameplay, maybe a few story details, and that's really it. So with that, let's get into the gameplay. To summarize the gameplay in Magolor's epilogue, it's kind of like combat oriented, so you'll be finding like a bunch of enemies to gain these weird orb things to give yourself more power. The orbs you collect are used for a skill tree to level yourself up. Now with this skill tree, you do get a variety of different abilities like a bomb ability, a dash ability, and tons more. There is this one ability I'd like to talk about, but I'll save that for later. So what do I think about the gameplay in this game? It's not bad. Some people might find it tedious just fighting enemies, but I never really found the gameplay too tedious. It seems that the levels try getting creative with the abilities you're given. Like, for example, there's these little challenge levels, which aren't that long, that utilize the abilities you're given. For what they are, they're nice little challenge levels. Speaking of abilities, I guess I'll get this out of the way. So I think in like the 4th or 3rd area of the game, you gain access to this spike ability, which is really weird to use. I don't really like how it's mapped to the control scheme. I was able to access it a few times here and there, but I just don't like how it's mapped control-wise. So I never really used it. So with that out of the way, I guess I'll talk about the bosses. The bosses are actually remixed bosses of the ones in Kirby's Return to Dreamland. So what do I think of them? Well, they could be pretty fun once you level up fully. Each boss does have a differing ability, like the first one can shoot electricity, the other one is fire-based, and I think you get the gist of it. There is this cool final boss at the end of the game. I don't want to get into it, but it's pretty cool. If you haven't played the game, go play it now. So I think the only thing left to bring up is the music. The music's good. That's really it. So with that, I think I went over everything this game mode has. As a whole, it's not that bad. Would I recommend playing it? Yes. So with that, how would I rate this mode? Well, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I probably would have given it a 10 out of 10 if one of the abilities wasn't hard to use, but as for that, that's my final ranking. So with that, that ends this review. Thanks for watching.